Hello everyone, this is Fantasy-esque, and welcome back to ClanGen, the Warrior Cats clan generator game. When we left off in the previous episode, we saw the difference between master and trainee mentors, thinking that maybe the apprentices who have more experienced mentors are going to end up kind of at the front of the experience hurdle, and the apprentices with trainee mentors who aren't really that prepared, are going to be lagging behind, but were proven false because I think we had a bit of a mixed result. But right at the forefront was Nightpaw, who is no longer insecure, guys. Nightpaw is now strict. Under the guidance of Aratfa, our youngest and most inexperienced warrior and mentor in the clan. But these two have had such a good dynamic working together, and I am just so happy for the way things have panned out for them. And in the opposite end, we actually have the very beautiful but the very arrogant Falconpaw, who has been doted on by her parents her entire life pretty much, but then ended up with a mentor who is a more soft, more subtle Bubbling Gale, and has decided that she does not like this mentor, and as a result, she has been quite resistant to learning from him, and is pretty much lagging behind all her other siblings. But in this episode, I suppose our focus in the very beginning here is not going to be on the youngsters, or the youngest litter. It is going to be on Crocuspaw, Figpaw, and Reedpaw, who are going to be turning into warriors. So they are going to have their ceremonies, and Figpaw has actually in the last moon managed to surpass his very talented but carefree sister Reedpaw, and is now kind of right at the top of the experience ladder. So I'm very excited for them to go ahead and have their ceremonies and see how they're going to look, what sort of traits they're going to have, and what they have learned from their mentors. So okay guys, let's go ahead and skip a moon. And no birth and death notices, okay? With the heightened focus of the clan, 20 additional pieces of prey were gathered. Lynx clan's leader ignores Dark Pounce's attempts to ingratiate herself with them during the gathering. So Lynx clan relations have remained unchanged. Let's praise Whimsy clan. Grey Swipe has finally gotten rid of all her fleas. Thank goodness. Okay. Lyastar stands above the clan and proclaims that Crocuspaw shall now be known as Crocus Fade, honoring her spirit. That's actually a really pretty name, Crocus Fade. I like that. It's a bit different. And oh no, she's injured. So I can't take a look at how she is appearance-wise. Actually, no, we can. We can look at her healthy. Oh, she's pretty. Look at that. Now that she's older, I can definitely say she does not look exactly like Frostar did from my Feather Clan series. Frostar had the same coloring as her, but had kind of different patterning. But this is kind of interesting. Those blue eyes that she gets from her father, Eliastar, are quite pretty. But there we go, we have Crocus Fade over here. So at least I got to take a closer look at her. Now, she is still confident and incredibly clever. Okay, and how has she been influenced by her mentor? She was mentored by Plumestripe, and it was Plumestripe's first time mentoring someone. Plumestripe influenced her to be more likely to avoid a fight, make their own rules, and make impulsive decisions. Plumestripe helped her become better at solving problems. When she graduated, she was honored for her spirit. Okay, that's kind of interesting to see. So Plumestripe, is a loner. He doesn't like getting into, stuff or instances with other cats, so I can understand how he would influence her to avoid fights. And he's always used to being on his own, and as such, I suppose, making up his own rules. So Crocus Fade has kind of taken that on, and then making impulsive decisions. I think Plumestripe would have encouraged something that was already in Crocus Fade. Instead of subduing it or telling her to change it, he kind of told her to embrace it and, maybe take risks sometimes and make impulsive decisions, because I think in Plumestripe's life, he has restrained himself so much that he doesn't really have any friends, and I don't think he wanted that for his apprentice. So that's kind of nice, and also encouraged her, or he helped her to solve problems a lot better. And now, because of that, Crocus Fade is incredibly clever. I think he did a good enough job giving her direction. I mean, she lagged behind the most out of all her siblings, but I don't think he ever held that against her. And he was never disappointed in her, which I think is a really good thing. Because instead, he kind of taught her that it's okay to be on your own lane and not be as fast as others as long as you are going in the right direction. So, there we go. That's quite nice. Crocus Fade, oh no, slipped on some rocks and dislocated her leg. I wonder if this was a result of her making impulsive decisions. Okay, as the clan cheers for the new warrior, Fig Scratch. Grayswipe purrs loudly. Her kit is finally a warrior. A new journey has begun for Fig Scratch, and Grayswipe knows that Fig Scratch's exemplar will lead him through anything. Oh, look at that! Fig Scratch. That's an interesting name. Fig Scratch. Okay. Fig Scratch, let's take a look. Ooh, he's so pretty. He's such a pretty cat. Oh my goodness. I didn't realize how pretty he was when he was younger. He is still strict, but he is a great hunter with helpful insight, and he actually is, you know, he's become a warrior, like, prepared, unlike his sister, who is still kind of a trainee in terms of experience. That is so cool, but I love the way his pelt looks. He actually looks very pretty, like this coloring. This kind of bluish sort of coloring that he has, like a greenish bluish coloring. It looks very, very nice. Very nice. Okay, let's take a look at how he was influenced, and it's going to be interesting to see the difference between him and his sister Reedpool, because they both had the same mentor. He was mentored by Dark Pounce. Dark Pounce influenced him to be more likely to make their own rules. When he graduated, he was honored for his exemplar. Okay, so Fig Scratch, I mean, there's a lot less going on here than his sister had, than Crocus Fade had with Plume Stripe. And I wonder if that's because, you know, Dark Pounce had 2 apprentices, so maybe he was not able to impart as much to the both of them. But Fig Scratch, okay, more likely to make his own rules. And I think the fact that instead of trying to become like his sister, who was very different to him, like a Reedpool, who was actually like way ahead of him in the beginning, Fig Scratch stayed firmly on his own path. Like, he was strict when he was young, but he had, you know, like very good initiative, I think. And rather than seeing that his sister was doing better and changing his tactics or trying to become like her, he stayed true to himself. He made his own rules, and he stuck by his own rules. And that ended up paying off in the end because he was, like, he graduated as the best of his batch. So I think that's really good. Good on you, Fig Scratch. And let's see, finally we have Grayswipe can hardly believe how quickly time has passed since Reedpool was a kit. It still feels like just yesterday that she was tumbling around the nursery chasing after a moss ball or some other cat's tail. Misty-eyed with pride and joy, Grayswipe throws her head back and tries to cheer the loudest as Reedpool is named Reed Daisy and honored for her resilience. Okay, look at that, Reed Daisy. Let's see, ooh, she looks pretty too. She looks pretty as well. And she's childish, a beloved kid sitter, so she kept her childishness. And let's see what she's kind of taken on. So she was mentored by Dark Pounce. Dark Pounce influenced her to be more likely to adapt easily, heed the inner compass, and bicker with others. Dark Pounce helped her become better at caring for kittens. When she graduated, she was honored for her resilience. Okay, so she seems to have taken on a lot more from their mentor than her brother has, even though she is, you know, less experienced than her brother. But I mean, she wasn't best of the batch, but she's still prepared, which is nice to see. And I think that would reflect good on Dark Pounce, that both her apprentices were prepared. That's kind of interesting. So adapt more easily. And I think this was something that Reed Daisy learned very early on. Like, she was very different, and I think out of all her siblings, she was kind of expected to perform the least well, but she ended up doing the best. Things came easily to her, and like, she just adapted easily. You know, she didn't have to change her personality in order to train well. She just found a way to train well that works with the way she is. And I think heeding the inner compass kind of goes in line with this. And then bickering with others. I feel like Dark Pounce would have kind of told Reed Daisy to kind of stick up for yourself when you have to stick up for yourself. You know, if you if you feel as though the way you're doing something works well for you, even if others don't understand it and think that you're lazing around, like, don't let them make opinions about you. You go fight with them. You go stand your ground. So that's kind of nice. And also, she's become better at caring for kittens. So Dog Pounce, I feel like, has encouraged Reed Daisy to be kind of more interactive with the youngsters and have a good relationship with them. So that is actually really good to see, and that's what we have for our 3 cats. Look at that. And you know what, guys? I mean, Reed Daisy and Fig Scratch definitely look very, very lovely as adults. And I think if I had to pick out of the 3 of them, I think in that particular batch, my favorite cat would have to be Fig Scratch. I just think his coloring and his coat, it looks so, so pretty. I don't know what exactly it is. You know what? Fig Scratch almost reminds me of like moonlight. It feels like he is a ray of moonlight with like stars, you know, starry moonlight. That's what he looks like to me. That's the first kind of image that comes into my head when I see him, starry moonlight. And then Reed Daisy to me looks like clouds, like midday clouds. So it's kind of interesting, but I love the difference between these two, but the similarity as well. But definitely Fig Scratch, appearance-wise, would have to be my favorite in this group. And it kind of helps that he is the best of his batch, so I do like that. So okay, that is done. And Falcon Paw has gotten a stomach ache, which is not good, but thankfully it doesn't seem to be bad enough that Falcon Paw is going to miss out on patrols. Because really, Falcon Paw needs those patrols. She really does. But okay, let us continue with relationships and see what's going on here. Bubbling Gale nods politely as Plume Stripe passes by. Bubbling Gale has a lot of fun with Falcon Paw, which is great. Because they were kind of struggling in the last episode. And Falcon Paw, like, Bubbling Gale made a joke about Falcon Paw and how arrogant she is, and Falcon Paw did not like it, and then she didn't want to go on patrol with him, so he kind of told her to patrol around camp, and very close to camp. And then, you know, she broke the rules a little bit, but she ended up holding back a whole heap of prey, and that gave her a ton of confidence, and I think she's been in a good mood since then, and she maybe expected Bubbling Gale to be stuck up and tell her off and not listening to his orders, but he didn't, and he was actually quite nice with her, and I think he was quite proud of the amount of food she brought back, and because of that, they seem to have patched up for now. And Bubbling Gale had a whole lot of fun with Falcon Paw, probably around that whole topic, so they seem to be going well, which I'm glad for. Hopefully we see that reflected in the patrols. Dog Pounce is letting Reed Paw share her troubles with her, hoping she'll feel better afterwards. Now Reed Paw. Dog Pounce was most excited about Reed Paw's ceremony, it seems. But Dog Pounce, wasn't she close to... Oh, no, sorry. These were Grey Swipe's kittens, no? Sorry, Grey Swipe was the most excited about... This is funny, Reed Paw's ceremony, but I'm pretty sure growing up, Reed Paw was the father's favorite. And Reed Daisy, I'm pretty sure, was Nectarrock's favorite child, and I think Fig Scratch was Grey Swipe's favorite child. Actually, hold on a second. Yeah, Grey Swipe actually gave attention to both Reed Daisy and Fig Scratch. Okay. It's kind of funny that Grey Swipe was most excited about her 2 children that actually did really well, and they graduated prepared, whereas it seems as though neither parent gave too much attention to Crocus Fade, who was lagging behind. I mean, it's a bit sad, but at the same time, Grey Swipe, she has a reputation, so I can totally see how she would favor the children who are doing well. Anyways, continuing over here. Let's see, Reed Paw doesn't say sorry when bumping into Dog Pounce, and that's not good. I mean, Dog Pounce was the mentor of Reed Paw and Fig Paw. Lystar swears he sees Plume Stripe sneaking around the camp at night. Lystar and Ratfur find a hidden part of the territory and keep it a secret together. Slumber Roach gives Midnight Spot a beautiful feather he found and hides behind his whiskers when thanked. Okay, we finally get an interaction between Slumber Roach and Midnight Spot. We're definitely gonna have to check up on their relationship to see if anything's changed, because this has a high positive effect. So that is very, very intriguing. They have been mates for, I think, 3 moons now, and this is the first time they've interacted with each other. So it seems as though Slumber Roach is being receptive to Midnight Spot, or he's, pursuing her. And I think it was in the last episode that Slumber Roach was actually, was he tidying his pelt? Or he was like cleaning his pelt or something like that, and we were saying that he's trying to look more appealing to Midnight Spot. And then he gave her a beautiful feather, so that's actually really cute. Slumber Roach, Bubbling Gale, and Grayswipe had a nice talk while eating. Slumber Roach heard a story about something kind Plumestripe did. The first one to panic when Figpaw gets hurt is always Grayswipe. Oh yeah, that makes sense, because Figpaw has always been Grayswipe's favorite child. Grayswipe, Slowfleck, and Plumraven had a nice talk while eating. Midnight Spot and Grayswipe have a misunderstanding that makes them grumpy for the rest of the day. Oh my goodness, guys. Oh my goodness. So it seems as though we have an interaction between Slumber Roach and Midnight Spot, and then not long after we have an interaction between Midnight Spot and Grayswipe. So I'm wondering whether Grayswipe, even if she's fallen out of love with Slumber Roach, would still kind of feel sensitive about Slumber Roach and Midnight Spot, because they were together until very recently. And seeing Slumber Roach being so attentive to Midnight Spot must be kind of, like stepping on her wounds, kind of, or putting salt on her wounds. And I think Grayswipe is becoming upset because she's thinking, she kind of made peace with the fact that Slumber Roach had to leave her because it was ordained by the leader. But I'm wondering whether this is making Grayswipe think that Slumber Roach is actually happy after having left her. And he's not only doing this to have kittens, but he's actually interested in Midnight Spot. So there's that misunderstanding. And then the way Grayswipe is acting is probably making Midnight Spot think that she's getting in the middle of Grayswipe and Slumber Roach, even though she is currently mated to Slumber Roach. So she's getting upset by that, and Grayswipe's getting upset by that. So there's like a misunderstanding happening here between the two of them. Okay. Hey, Grayswipe's laugh reminds Nectarrock of someone he misses. Nectarrock is grossed out by something Buttercup Paw did. Slowfleck tried on an accessory that Figpaw threw away, but realized Figpaw looked a lot better in it. Slowfleck sighs at the mere mention of Midnight Spot. Okay, and Slowfleck, yeah, I think Slowfleck doesn't like Midnight Spot right now because of he's interested in Grayswipe, and if Midnight Spot did something to make Grayswipe upset, then obviously he wouldn't be happy with Midnight Spot. And I think I didn't pick up on this. I'm only realizing it now. But I think in the previous episode, Slowfleck had a really good impression of Ratfur and then had a bad impression of Midnight Spot, and I wonder if that has something to do with Grayswipe as well. Plumestripe is grateful for something Crocus Paw did. Midnight Spot and Crocus Paw learn a lot about each other when they're stuck in a den during a storm. Plumraven always assumes the worst of Bubbling Gale, which is not nice. Ratfur is jealous that Buttercup Paw got to go to the last gathering. Crocus Fade is easily swayed by Lystar's words. So over here is when we probably had the warrior ceremony for the youngsters. Fig Scratch is thinking about how much Falcon Paw reminds him of his own apprentice days. Well, that's cute. Maybe he's thinking that, just like Falcon Paw, he was kind of lagging behind. Not as far back as Crocus Fade, but he was lagging behind. And then with hard work, he kind of got ahead, and he's kind of seeing that Falcon Paw with hard work is kind of striving ahead too. Bubbling Gale has to help Reed Daisy stop choking on a huge bone. Buttercup Paw scoffed loudly at one of Dark Pounce's suggestions. When getting something to eat, Rainpaw sees Falcon Paw allow someone else to take her favorite prey, which is very humble of her, considering how arrogant she is. Falcon Paw and Reed Daisy notice a cloud is shaped like a star. And finally, Nightpaw and Falconpaw exchange stories about their mentors. That's adorable. These two sisters who, Nightpaw has been doing really well with her mentor, and Falconpaw has recently made peace with her mentor. So it's kind of nice. The sisters are hanging out and exchanging stories. That makes me feel very happy. Now, did I look at the medicine cat? And I don't know if I did. I don't think I did. Okay, let's take a look. So 3 cats right now. Lystar has a mangled tail. Plum Raven has a dislocated joint. And Crocus Fade also has a dislocated joint. Okay, Lystar was given Tansy as treatment for mangled tail. He'll be less likely to die. Okay. Grayswipe was given Plantain as treatment for fleas. Her fleas are gone. Plum Raven was given Ragwort as treatment for dislocated joints. She will heal sooner. And Slopeflake gathered Marigold this moon. Okay, good to know, good to know. But I think that's all we have for events. So let's cut the recording here and head to the cat list. It is time for us to look at the cat list. Nothing has changed in terms of loyalties. The other thing that I was trying to keep an eye on is Plumestripe's friendship, of which he has none, which makes me very sad still. But other than that, it was Slumberroach and Midnight Spot's relationship. What's going on there? I thought maybe we should dive in and see, what's going on Slumberroach's end. So Slumberroach, guys, and it kind of sucks that I can't see, I can't throw Slumberroach and Midnight Spot in the mediation screen because he's a mediator, but he is still in love with Grayswipe, guys. He is still very much in love with Grayswipe. However, Slumberroach is starting to really like Midnight Spot. So I think the thing that I said about the longer it takes them to have kittens, the longer they stay together, the less likely it will be that he'll probably get back together with Grayswipe, I think is gonna hold true. Because after a very slow start, he has suddenly started liking Midnight Spot quite a lot. And I mean, if it keeps going in this direction, he's gonna end up loving both Grayswipe and Midnight Spot, but he might not be willing to leave Midnight Spot, especially if he has kittens with her. So that was one interesting thing between the cats. Grayswipe, on the other hand, she's fallen out of love with Slumberroach, but I think she still has some lingering attachment to him. And I think a lot of this comes from the fact that she knows he was having second thoughts about them, or he was starting to have feelings for other cats. Maybe not even having second thoughts about them. He wasn't disliking her, he's still in love with her, but the fact that he was also starting to like other cats, I don't think is something that Grayswipe would be happy with or comfortable with. So since that has been a thing, I don't think Grayswipe is putting Slumberroach on a pedestal anymore, but she still has lingering attachment to him, and it kind of hurts to see him fawning over another younger cat. So there is that. On Midnight Spot's end, she is also starting to really like Slumberroach. Not as much as Slumberroach is starting to like her, though. So her kind of, feelings towards him is growing slowly. It's growing slower than Slumberroach's, but it's still growing. She does feel very comfortable with him, though. So, yeah. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I feel like... I can't say anything for sure. But we might be getting some kittens soon, guys. We might be getting kittens soon. It's not going nearly as slowly as I thought it would between the two of them. Definitely not as slowly as it was between Darkpounce and Nectarrock. I feel like they were together for eons. They were together for so long before they finally had their litter of kittens, like Midnight Spot, Plum Raven, and Ratfur. But these two, I think things might start speeding up now. But okay, let us go ahead and see what is going on with our cats for the day. Lystar is eavesdropping on Slopeflake. Okay, Lystar. I wonder why that's happening. I'm really curious now about what Slopeflake's doing. Darkpounce is debating swimming to cool down. Slopefleck is checking up on the warriors. Okay, so he's checking up on the warriors. I wonder if he's actually checking up on all the mentors for his 4 kittens, and Lystar is trying to eavesdrop on him. Slumberroach is debating swimming to cool down. Okay, so Slumberroach is hanging out with who? With Darkpounce. Slumberroach and Darkpounce are hanging out together. Bubbling Gale enjoys the warmth of Greenleaf. Greyswipe wants to be chosen as the new deputy. Greyswipe, you have quite a bit to work up the political ladder if you want to be deputy, honey. You have a lot to work on. You don't have, I can see her ambition. She's trained like so many apprentices at this point, or is training so many apprentices, like she's on her 4th apprentice now, that she has like so much experience, so I can kind of see why she feels like she would do really well as a deputy. But I don't think you're ready to enter politics just yet, honey. I don't think you're ready just yet. Plumestripe wonders what Plumraven is up to. Okay. Midnight Spot had a nice chat with a kitty pet. Plumraven almost choked on her prey. Okay, yeah, I think that's why Plumestripe is worrying about Plumraven, because she almost choked on her prey. So she is kind of stressed. She dislocated a joint and she almost choked on her prey. So I think Bloomstripe is keeping an eye on her. Ratfa saw a 2-leg petting a Lona. Crocus Fade is having a nice conversation with the cats guarding camp. Okay, while she is injured because of her dislocated joint. Fig Scratch is worried Crocus Fade is overworking herself. You know what? This is really sweet to see, because Fig Scratch used to haul around Crocus Fade quite a lot when they were younger, just because Crocus Fade was always lagging behind, and Fig Scratch kind of wanting to improve himself but also feeling this need to enforce strictness with her so that she could train with him, used to give her quite a bit of attention. But it's kind of nice to see now that they're older, he is being more gentle with his sister and, not wanting her to overwork herself, especially because she's injured right now. Reed Daisy is relieved Slumberroach sided with her during an argument. Okay, that was very nice of him. Buttercup Paw is determined to master a hunting technique by dusk. That is very good to see, Buttercup Paw. Very good to see. And let's keep an eye on their experience here. So Buttercup Paw has 16 right now. Rainpaw has 19. Wishes he had wings so he could catch birds easier. Okay, I think having Greyswipe as a mentor is really paying off for Rainpaw. Falconpaw has... Wait, hold on a second. Hold on a second. We have 16, 19, and 22 experience. 22 is napping after doing who knows how much training to get herself up to 22 experience points. Oh my goodness. I think her having, fixing things with her mentor has definitely helped a lot. And she has a stomach ache, probably because she kind of forwent food to actually go ahead and focus on training. And she managed to get her experience up, but as a result, she's not feeling too good. And Nightpaw is humming a tune she heard near a 2-leg place with experience of 24. Oh my goodness, look at that. Look at that, guys. So Nightpaw is still very far ahead, but it seems as though Falconpaw has worked really hard to kind of get herself to be kind of the second best of the batch. And if she continues on this streak, she might end up surpassing Nightpaw, because they're very close, like 2 points aside. And it seems as though now Buttercup Paw, so Midnight Spot's apprentice, is the one who is lagging behind. Would you look at that? These kittens kind of shuffled around quite a bit. So initially it used to be Nightpaw, then Rainpaw, then Buttercup Paw, then Falconpaw in terms of their experience. Now it's Nightpaw, Falconpaw, Rainpaw, and Buttercup Paw. So how fascinating is that? How fascinating. Okay, well it seems as though... Oh wait, no, I forgot about Nectarock. I'm so sorry. Nectarock is in awe of Lystar's leadership. You know what, Nectarock? You have feelings for Lystar, so I think you're looking at him with rose-tinted glasses, to be honest. But I mean, hey, if it works for you, it works for you. But okay, I'm going to cut the recording here, and then we're going to dive into patrols. It is time for us to dive into patrols and see what goes on between the cats. Let's send out Slopefleck first of all. Okay, Let's see, Slowflick, what's going on here? Slowflick heads out on what promises to be a fragrant patrol, searching for wild garlic. Proceed. The mallow and garlic will suddenly restock the herb stores, which are close to Slowflick's nest. Yay. So wild garlic and mallow were gathered, and now it seems we're going to have a patrol of 6. 2 patrols of 6. Okay, so we're not going to have any stragglers this time around. We have 168.2 prey, and we need 44.5, so I don't think we're going to be too worried about food. But let's see. First up, we have... Okay, so it seems as though Midnight Spot is sticking very close to his apprentice, and then Ratfur has decided... Okay, Radfur and Greaswipe have decided to send their apprentices with Bubbling Gale. Okay, so Bubbling Gale is going to be supervising Falconpaw, who he has been getting along well with, alongside Rainpaw and Nightpaw. So we'll see how that goes for them. And then in this patrol of 6, our first patrol, we also have Fig Scratch and Reed Daisy going out the first time as warriors, so that's exciting. These two, and that's right, their sibling is currently injured. She's got a dislocated joint, so she can't go out on her first warrior patrol. But okay, guys, let's see how things go here. And this actually might be good for Buttercup Paw, since Buttercup Paw is actually lagging behind the most. Maybe in this patrol, since he is kind of on his own, the older cats are going to focus on him a bit more. So let's head out. A rabbit bursts out from cover, startled by the patrol. Proceed. Fig Scratch reacts quickly, tearing off after the rabbit and slamming a paw on its head to bring it down. A large amount of prey is brought to camp, so hopefully our youngster managed to learn from Fig Scratch and get a whole lot of experience from that. But, oh my goodness, look at us, 233.2 food! That's amazing. Now we have a Nightpaw, Falconpaw, Rainpaw, Plumestripe, Bubbling Gale, and Dog Pounce going out on patrol together. And Bubbling Gale, this could be a really good chance for him and Falconpaw, because this is the first time they're going out on patrol together. Their relationship has also been really good, which might be of benefit for Falconpaw. Alternatively, his attention might be split between the 3 apprentices he's supposed to be looking after, so we'll see how this goes. But I don't think they'd have a lot of pressure to hunt, because the previous patrol already got a whole bunch of food. Okay. Oh, look at that! The patrol comes across a large hare. Proceed. The patrol narrowly misses the hare. A very small amount of prey is brought to camp. That is okay. At least they did some hunting. Probably get some experience for the youngsters. So we have 245.2 prey. So let's take a look and see how they did. Buttercup Paw has 18 experience. Okay. Rainpaw has 20. Falconpaw has 23. And Nightpaw has 25. Okay, so these 3, Rainpaw, Falconpaw, Nightpaw, seem to be very close together in their experience. Buttercup Paw is the one who's kind of lagging behind. But he did want to master like a hunting technique, and we did go out and do some hunting, so I am glad for that. But it seems as though that is all we have going for this particular episode. Okay guys, with that said and done, I am going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.